Greetings, my excellent friend.
Welcome to Most Excellent Adventure to
Heavy Metal
History.
Hello, listeners. Welcome to this bonus episode of the podcast. My guest for this one was Ryo, the lead singer of Japanese metalcore band Crystal Lake. They just had an album drop about a week ago called Helix. As many of you know, I guess with my roots, I definitely grew up in the era of metalcore, so this was like a refreshing memory of my past. You know, I didn't know what to expect to this album going in, and it kind of surprised me in a lot of ways, and it's really awesome to see a Japanese band gain a lot of traction and hype in the metalcore scene, and they kind of do a lot to refresh it too. I know the genre is not for everybody, so I'm not saying every listener is going to like this band, but I think you should have an open mind and check them out if you like. I definitely enjoyed it. Ryo is awesome to talk to. I will preface, he's not a native English speaker, so it was a little hard to, I guess, kind of get some conversation going on. So bear with it, but I promise it's worth it. You know, it's a bonus episode. What does it matter? You guys are going to enjoy it anyways. So thank you for checking it out, and here it is, Ryo from Crystal Lake. All right, so just to introduce yourself here, I'll let everybody, all the listeners know, your name is Ryo. You're the singer of Crystal Lake, correct?
You're right.
All right.
You're right.
Well, the thing I like to start off with here, man, is what were some of your first heavy metal influences? You know, those first bands you remember hearing, the first records you remember kind of getting into, and how did you get into them?
I think it was Metallica's Saint Anger when I was 12, and then it was like, whoa, what the hell is this? And it was like, you know, it was the first experience of metal, you know. And then I listened to Slipknot, Volume 23, I think. Yeah.
That's a very interesting Metallica record. I never hear that one as far as first Metallica, you know.
Really? Metallica influenced me a lot, so, you know, it's their all-time favorite band.
So after you heard that Metallica record, did you eventually, I assume, went back and like discovered all their older stuff?
Oh yeah, you're right. I found them when the Saint Anger was released, but I and then I found their old stuff, you know, and then and my favorite album is Justice for All, I think.
Yeah, that seems to be a lot of people's favorite record from that era of old and new Metallica. Like it's always this weird point of contention, it seems like, with a lot of people with old versus new Metallica. I mean, you know, they did go a little softer in the later years, but I still I don't think that really discredits the early stuff any.
I'm still digging their older stuff, but I understand the, you know, what they try to do, you know. So as a musician, you know, it was like, they tried to do something new.
Yes.
So I totally understand them.
Yeah, I think that's a very important thing with music, is to always be experimenting and trying new things. The only unfortunate downside, I guess, is when it doesn't work out and fans kind of revolt on you after that.
Yeah, exactly.
What kind of experimenting do you guys do as far as like Crystal Lake and writing music?
You mean bands or kind of?
I guess as far as like the writing process with the band, you know, when you try to take experimentation.
First of all, Lady brings some riff, and then I wrote some lyrics for them, and then we composing, you know, we the structures, and it was like, we used to jam a lot, but now we use Pro Tools, and then send files each other, and then compose music.
So it's you guys aren't really too much in the same room nowadays when you're writing stuff. It's just kind of like spread out a little bit.
Yeah, it's part of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So kind of going back here a little bit, as far as like, you discovering those first records and getting into heavy metal, like, was it harder for you being in Japan finding music and heavy metal? Like, what's the kind of scene like there as far as heavy metal goes?
It's like Japanese love heavy metal so much, but we have no such a scene,
Mm-hmm.
We have a few bands here, and then it's weird thing. It's kind of sorry, it's kind of twisted,
Okay.
kind of distorted, and it's kind of, it's hard to explain, but it's but young bands came out recently a lot, so yeah, I think it's growing bigger and bigger, I think.
That's good to hear. I think the one thing that, even though I know very few Japanese bands, it seems to me it's always quality over quantity with what comes out of there. And I think that's really important.
Yeah, I think so.
So how did you end up joining Crystal Lake? I know you joined a few years back. Like, what kind of led up to you being brought into the band?
I joined this band 7 years ago, and then I was in another band, and then we played with Crystal Lake a lot, and then we were friends, at that time, and when our previous vocalist quit, and I talked to guitarist Shinya, and then hey, I quit the band, so I want to join you guys, and then it was like, and then I took audition, and then I joined this band. It's kind of it's hard to explain, but it's kind of like that.
That's really cool, though. I mean, you guys were peers together, and then it just so happened to work out that you joining the band made sense.
Yeah.
So now that Helix has come out and everything, and you guys have been touring the U.S., like, from my perspective, just kind of looking on the outside here, it seems like you guys have really finally managed to like gain that crossover into the American scene. What were like some of the challenges you guys faced in doing that? I've seen and heard all the hype behind everything, and it's really awesome to see you guys like gaining ground here.
So I was so surprised that so many people in the States were waiting for us. It was like, that they were chanting our name before and after our set, and then it was like, I never imagined like that, so I was so surprised.
Yeah, I got to imagine that's an awesome feeling, after all the years of like touring and playing and writing music to like be that, like be in that moment.
Yeah.
Has it surprised you, like people's reactions to a lot of this stuff since you've been touring?
Yeah. So many people know our songs, and then it was like, like Apollo, they were singing along a lot, and then they all know every word of the lyrics. So, it's, I felt weird, but it was good.
That's really awesome to hear, man. Because I know it's like always hard for bands overseas to kind of like get that foothold in America. Just like it's it's a lot harder for American bands to get footholds in other countries too. But like I kind of mentioned, like it's rare that you ever hear or see Japanese bands, but when they come, man, they're, like I said, quality over everything else. And I think you guys are no different, just in a different genre than what I'm used to hearing, as far as like personally, which is good. I can see like all the work you guys have been putting in as far as like
Hmm.
getting over here, and it's rare to see that on both sides. So it's cool to
Yeah,
see like all your guys' work finally paying off.
yeah. Yeah. It's so tough for us to tour in the States. It costs a lot, but you know, I think it's just but I think we can make it in the near future.
Hmm.
I'm sure. And then it's like, you know, we got a good reputation here so far. So, and yeah,
Yeah, I think with this record especially, once more, I mean, already a lot of people have like caught on to it, but once more people catch on to it over time, I
yeah,
think whenever you guys do something next, I mean, it's probably just going to be even bigger than what you guys are
hmm
at now.
yeah. And then, oh, sorry, what is the question? I couldn't hear you.
I was just commenting on like the how well the record's doing so far, the current record, Helix.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's been it's been good. The reaction was really good, and then it's kind of it has a lot of heavy stuff. So yeah, I'm glad they liked it, and then we played some songs from Helix, and then in live, and then the reaction was really good. So yeah, I'm
Yeah,
happy.
I definitely think this is by far the heaviest record you guys have done, and that's really awesome to see. But it's not like overwhelmingly heavy. Like it's a good mix of like heavy and kind of like, I guess for lack of a better word, softer moments on the record.
Yeah, yeah, you're right, exactly. Yeah, we're not just a heavy band. We are melodic and progressive,
Hmm.
and but still heavy. And kind of we have a vibe of hardcore and death metal, black metal, kind of extreme metal. But we love the softer side of music. So yeah, we just doing what we want to do.
Yeah, I think that's very important. Like to not worry
Yeah,
about outside influences and just kind of write and play what you guys want to play instead of like,
yeah,
worrying about adhering to one specific genre.
you're right. I hate the albums like you know full of heavy songs, and I I couldn't tell the difference. It was all the same songs. Like that, you kind of deathcore bands or kind of like that.
Yeah. So actually, it's one thing I did want to mention. You're talking about all these different kind of genres that are
Hmm.
in the record. Your drummer, man, the drum parts on this record, he sounds like a really solid death metal drummer with some of those parts that he
Yeah,
plays. Man, he's really good.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Oh, no, he plays like just like CD. He he sounds really great in live.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's
Yeah.
it's I think the way the record was mixed too. Like, who did you guys work with to record
Oh,
and mix the
it just
record?
it was self-produced, and
Oh
then
wow.
yeah, and we asked we started building, uh, a producer who did a mirror, the weekend as romance, and like motionless in white,
Hmm.
and then he mixed it, and then he mixed it and mastered it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds really good, really full, which I like, and being able to hear each instrument kind of separate and then the vocals,
Yeah,
because
you're right.
sometimes things get a little overpowered in the mix and you're missing
Mm-hmm.
out on a lot of the other stuff in records.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my opinion.
Oh yeah, I think so too. But yeah, it still sounded great.
So, when did kind of the writing process for this record start? Like, when did you guys kind of get together and be like, okay, let's start this record and started working on it?
I think it was March in 2018, and
Okay.
then yeah, and then we start to record it June, I think. I forgot, but but it took 6 months to finish this album. So yeah, it starts in March. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
for sure. Yeah, yeah, and then yeah, it felt like forever, and it was yeah, it was the hardest session ever. Personally, and then you know,
So, did you guys have
it's
any
quite hard.
pre-production time, or was this like you had everything written before you went to go record it, and you just went to go record it?
Uh, in some songs, we had a lot a lot of production time, but the others are not.
Okay.
So yeah.
So, how do you guys? I know you kind of mentioned that you guys send files back and forth, but how do you guys kind of write collectively as far as songs? Like, will it be like the guitar player writes something and everybody builds something around that, or what do you guys kind of start with as a base?
We started from from the riffs,
Okay.
like I said, and then we start to write temporary songs, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and then I wrote lyrics for it, and then start to write a song again, and then it was you know, and then over and over again, and then you know what I mean.
Yeah. So things
It's
like
kind
kind
of
of
yeah,
changed.
repeat. Yeah, it's kind of repeat of
Okay.
of the um,
So with your as far as you writing lyrics, I know you do everything in English. Is that like intentional? Like, do you purposefully not want to do stuff in Japanese? Like, how do you decide that?
uh, I started just singing English because I I was influenced by the bands like singing in English,
Mm-hmm.
and then like I said, Metallica and Childhood or kind of like that, and
Yeah.
then it it was natural thing. It was a natural thing to sing in English, you know, and then but I didn't think using Japanese is cool, but recently I changed my mind, and then I started to use Japanese in some songs, and then it was like Omega and Bridge Part.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote I wrote in Japanese, and yeah, it turned out really good, and then it's kind of bizarre feelings, you know.
Yeah, I think
It
it's
turned out to be good. Yeah,
yeah, I agree. I think it's cool when you can do that because it makes the song sound more unique. How many
yeah,
other bands are going to be able to pull that kind of stuff off with writing in another language unless they're
yeah,
from wherever they're from? I
yeah.
think it gives the song like an extra like layer to it.
Exactly.
So you said so it took 6 months to kind of write and record everything, and it
Yeah,
was self-produced.
yeah.
So what were kind of, you said it was a long time writing. Were you guys like struggling as far as creativity? Like why was it that it took that long? You said it seemed like a long time to you. Why was that?
Yeah, we were struggling, but we had a lot of shows while we recorded, and then it was like we were touring in Europe,
Mm.
so we had to take a break. So it was like we couldn't write the songs on the road because we have no laptops, and it was like it was so tough.
Yeah. So you're basically like having to sacrifice some creative time to go play shows to
Oh yeah,
get
you're
people
right.
hyped up on your music again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's gotta be hard, man. I could tell you guys work really hard at like everything you do, and that's I think that goes a long way for me personally, seeing like how much effort you guys put into everything. Because I think
Yeah.
a lot of newer bands kind of want to phone it in or expect to be like this big massive thing right off the bat, and they don't want to
Mhm.
put the work in. So
Yeah.
it's refreshing to kind of see that.
Yeah. Definitely.
So as far as your U.S. tour, this is your first one, correct?
Yeah, you're right.
So what has been some things that you guys have been like? I guess what did you expect versus reality in terms of touring U.S.? Like, what has it been like for you
Uh,
so far?
yeah, we didn't expect anything.
Uh huh.
It was like we thought there were only two people there, and then nobody knew us, but it it was not. And then yeah, so many people knew us, and then knew our songs, and then yeah, they sung with us in mosques, they crowd surfed, and then yeah, you know it was like I was dreaming, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of my dreams came true. So yeah, it was amazing. It was awesome tour.
So how are the crowds here versus like in Japan when you guys play?
Oh, sorry.
How are the crowds here versus in Japan when you guys play shows?
Yeah, I think people in the States are more like enthusiastic to music, and they listen. They were like, they listening to what we are doing, and then they just watching, they they liked it, and then they showed us respect. You know,
That's awesome.
you know what I mean. But Japanese people are more like, they love to do ape shit. But yeah, crazier than any other countries. It was like, they do more mosh, no, crowd surfs or stage dives, kind of. They like more. They like crazier things. It's,
Okay.
it's. I think it's the biggest difference.
Yeah, I think the problem here is a lot of clubs have like those weird rules about like not moshing or
Yeah,
stage diving, and that kind of
yeah,
takes away from the show. And I
yeah.
get it on some aspect, but it's everybody there's trying to have fun. It's
Yeah.
it's
You're right. Exactly.
um. So I guess one last little thing here, and then I won't take up too much more of your time. But as far
Mm-hmm.
as your vocals on the record,
Mm-hmm.
they sound, not that you've ever sounded bad previous to this, but man, it sounds like you've done a lot of work improving
Oh,
your
really?
range. What did you
Mhm.
do to do that, or did it just like kind of happen?
No, I've been doing that for a long time. I didn't do them on the albums. It didn't fit the songs,
Okay.
so I didn't use that. So, but I did. You know, I used to do that in my previous band.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, it was like more deathcore kind of, you know, I used more high screams and low gutturals, and it just, you know, it just didn't fit. So I didn't use it. Just, you know, that's why.
Okay. So this time around, it made sense to kind of go back to what you had known and done previously.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That's awesome. Yeah, because I didn't know that, because I'm only familiar with like the past couple albums that you were on, and I just kind of noticed a little bit of difference with this record versus those, and I was like, damn, he definitely stepped it up for this one.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, but now I feel stupid because you've been doing it the whole time. So, well, awesome, man. I really, really appreciate you taking the time to chat with me here for a minute.
Yeah, no, sorry for my bad English. I'm so tired and my brain's not working. So,
yeah, I think your English is great, to be honest. Like, it's
thanks.
From what I understand, is English and Japanese are the two hardest languages to learn in the whole world. So, seriously, props to you, man.
Yeah, thanks.
So your tour is just finished up. Helix has been out for about 2 weeks now. Is that correct?
Yeah, you're right.
So what do you guys have planned next that you can kind of talk about quickly?
We're going to Russia this month.
Nice.
The end of this month, and then doing some festivals in Europe. And then for some huge festivals like Download, Nova Rock, kind of like that. And then back in the States this summer.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, if you guys come through my way, I'll definitely try and check out a show, because I missed this whole tour completely.
Oh, yeah.
Well, cool, man. I just want to say congratulations on the record. I think it's really good, and it's really awesome to see you guys kind of get a foothold here in America. I think that needs to happen more often. So congrats, man.
Thank you, man.
All right.
Be excellent to each other and